Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to VFR Aviation with General Aviation Flying. Let's see now what we've got today. Right, I was reading through a few comments that you guys gracefully post my videos, and I can't remember your name, but you did ask why wasn't the Dukes featuring in my videos, and maybe that I'm more concentrating on the on my other twin-engine aircraft. And I thought to myself, you know something, I was really looking forward to these Dukes. I really was, because they are amazing aircraft, and it's Black Square that are coming out with these aircraft, so these are going to be pretty good. So I went and got them, and I've had them in the collection now for a while. I've only done a few flights. And, well, here we are. We are at the Piston Grand Duke. And this is going to be a two-part video. Well, it's going to be a multi-part video, because I want to feature these, because these are pretty damn good aircraft, if I do say so. So this first video is going to be really talking about the aircraft of which you see before you, and going into the ridiculously detailed cockpit and some of the stuff you can expect if you purchase the Duke. And what can I say about this aircraft? It's a legendary twin-engined general aviation goodness at its best. Black Square, like I say, came up with this aircraft and produced it. They've come up with some pretty good aircraft themselves, and they are known for realism. They are known for every single button doing pretty much every single thing it's supposed to do in the real aircraft. So if you want a challenge, if you want to buy the books aircraft, the Duke here is very much got you covered. If you're not really a fan of piston-engined aircraft, don't worry, because there's a turbo Duke, and that's got turbo engines on it. So, or turboprops, I should say. Haven't flown a turboprop, because to me turboprops make a hideous noise, and that's just in real. It's nothing against Black Square, I just don't like turbo engines. But that being said, I may have to take a look at the turbo Duke, because if it's anything like this thing, it's gonna be brilliant. So yes, what can I say about this aircraft? I have flown this twice, mainly because of the Cohen Sim R22 being pretty much the only helicopter or vehicle in the flight simulator on my mind at the moment. But I have flown this, and I was really blown away. It's actually really, really good. Great sounds, awesome sounds, handles like a dream. I can see you doing long distance flying in this particular aircraft. It's fantastic. I can't get over how good this aircraft truly is. And I should have gone for this aircraft sooner. Let's look at the external side of it. It looks absolutely great. Ignore the fact there's a hole there, that's because the porthole's open. But it looks absolutely spot on. Reflections look fantastic. Screws, panels, everything looks like it should do. Even down to the tyres having a flat spot at the bottom. I don't know, normally, in the FSX, they used to, and FS 2004, they used to push the aircraft into the scenery to create the effect of a weighted aircraft, so the tyres would have a little bit of a flat spot. I don't think they do this in FS 2020, but it looks realistic, even down to the tyres. We do have a little bit streaking. No, that's panels again. It looks not like it's come out the factory, but it's a very well looked after aircraft, if this was the real aircraft. I don't know whether this is an American registration, so November 440 Charlie Mike, if I remember the letters right. I don't know if this aircraft is real. I presume it is. It'll be interesting to see what the real aircraft looks like. But yeah, it looks the part. It's got winglets as well, so this is a nod to the future. It looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? It's just every angle this thing looks. Yes, I'm looking at a plane's back end. It looks absolutely amazing. And this is what we get from Black Square. They release great looking aircraft. They complete the work. They don't just try to cram aircraft down our throats and release something half-arsed. It's absolutely fantastic. Externally, this aircraft is just mind-bogglingly brilliant. Absolutely amazing. I mean, look at the spinner reflections, this bare metal on the spinners. It's a very hard thing to do, to make a curved object in Flight Simulator, but developers are getting very, very good at it, and even the reflections of the blades, It just looks absolutely fantastic. A little bit of staining on the underside of the engine. That's again to be expected. As soon as an aircraft leaves the factory and starts its engine, you're going to get a bit of staining. But that just adds to realism, and I like realism. Realism good. So, externally speaking, this aircraft is absolutely jaw-droppingly good. You do get two variants of the piston powered. You get the Grand Duke, of which you see before you, and the Standard Duke, their piston engine, and like I said, you get the turboprop version of a Grand Duke, I do believe. These are oldish aircraft in real. I don't see too many of them. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen any of them. I don't know whether there's too many in the UK. But yeah, these are great distance covering aircraft. You know, you can fly state to state in America. You know, obviously fly somewhere, you can fly all over the place. But these are great aircraft, and add the fact they've got turboprop engines and they're pressurized. You know, you've got altitude, you've got speed, and they are really, really good. But yeah, externally speaking, absolutely fantastic. I'd give this a good 9 out of 10. To be honest with you, I mean, I want to say 10 out of 10, but that'd be perfect. There must be something that's wrong with this aircraft, and I can't find it. So, yeah, like I say, I've done a few flights in this aircraft, and I was blown away by the whole handling of this aircraft and the whole experience of flying this aircraft in the sim. And I really should have gone to this aircraft sooner, because it is absolutely fantastic. I know it was mentioned that I was more concentrated on the Diamond aircraft, and I'm not saying this is any better than a Diamond aircraft. I think this is an alternative. If you don't particularly want to fly the Diamond DA42, have a look at this aircraft. It's fantastic. Again, twin engine, faster, carries more people, you know, it's fully equipped in the cockpit. We will talk internally very soon. It's fantastic. It's awesome. And it may sound like I'm just dribbling on, but I'm trying to look for anything, literally anything that I don't like. And it just isn't anything. It literally isn't. It's just fantastic. Black Square did an awesome job. So let's move inside. Let's move inside to a very complicated cockpit. So, you're at the business end of your DA42, of your Grand Duke piston-powered version. We will talk a little bit of the differences between this and the turboprop version. I will do a video on the turboprop version. I am going to fly it. All joking aside, I will make it into the video, onto the channel at some point. But yeah, well, there is a few differences. But this cockpit looks super complicated. And it is. Well, I say super complicated. Obviously, it's a twin-engined aircraft, and then when you start multiplying the numbers of engines on an airframe, you start multiplying the amount of instrumentation and dials and switches and levers and all the rest of the good stuff in the cockpit. So immediately we've got two engines, so we're going to have a very detailed cockpit, and you can fly this aircraft from the co-pilot's position, henceforth why you have another set of instrumentation. So it looks complicated. It's not that complicated, well, per se, if you just keep on top of the stuff. So let's do a cockpit breakdown as best I can. So let's zoom this in. So we'll start with this panel right here. So this is your warning light system. Okay, so when these lights start lighting up, you've got an issue. So it's the usual kind of arrangement. You have a test button here for them. By the way, every button works. This is one of those aircraft where every button does a thing, and it does it correctly. So we've got warnings for all sorts of things here. So generator warnings, inverter warnings, cabin doors are unlocked, left-hand and right-hand fuel pressure, low, battery charge, and cabin alt. That are all warnings that will work, by the way. They will work. Then we move on to the avionics switches. So we have a main inverter, standby inverter, and off switch. We have the master switch. We have generators, obviously for left and right engine, and a battery switch. We have fuel pumps for left and right engine, and we have the engine starters for the left and right. So left and right mags for left engine, and left and right mags for, guess what, right engine. We have obviously the engine clock, which is the timers, which this shows you how much I haven't flown this aircraft. I've literally done, what did I do? I flew it around Waddington once, and I have flown it and I can't remember where to. I think it was Humberside. I flew it to quite a direct flight. So I haven't flown this very much, but again, super impressed. Cowl flaps, of which I've opened right now. We do have... this would be the first of the slight niggles, but it's a realistic niggle, because this is what would happen in a real aircraft. So if we jump out, the cowl flaps are open. And this is how you open and close them. So it's a three-way switch. Closed is lifting the switch up. Opening them is obviously putting the switch to the lower position, but you can't see the cowl flap. Only just that's it there, just sits there. So you have to hold this button on the close thing for quite a while. Now, yes, you can set a button for it. I have set a button for it. I've got an up and down button on my Thrustmaster throttle. The only problem is it's not one-to-one. So if I click it up, these things clunk up quicker than what they would do in reality. In reality, these things take a long ass time to actually get up and open. So, you know, take away from it what you can from that. It's realistic. I like that. But if you are trying to click on this with a mouse, which is probably the preferred way of doing it, and trying to control it, the aircraft that is, it can get a little bit away from you. So we also have just below here a pre-oiler for the left and right engines. So in startup, we will be using the pre-oiler, and the pre-oiler is something you need to keep running for around 25 to 30 seconds. This is one of those aircraft, like I keep saying, that is realistic. So let's start with the dials. So we have a speedometer in what we got in knots, and obviously we yellow line at what's that, just under 210, so 2.8 I would say that is. We go into the yellow. We can go into the yellow. It's not advised, but it is. It's there, and we red line just shy of, what was that, 235. So again, red line, no. Yellow, possible. I didn't have any need to go into the, yellow at all. Artificial horizon, that's obviously collapsed due to the fact there's no power to the aircraft. We have a altimeter, vertical speed, and these are your navigational things. I do use them. I normally say I don't use navigational systems, but I have got a G1000 hardware sat in front of me, and it does work. Let's see if I can move this. No, I can't. No power. I can move the heading bug to wherever I want, which is obviously this thing here. And yeah, it does work with my G1000. So, you know, it's not a G1000 setup cockpit, but the basic bits do work. So what else we got underneath here? We've got a slip turn coordinator, we have a compass, and we have a radar altitude underneath. So we can set this, obviously, excuse me, oh, do apologise. We can set the altimeter to the warning as to whatever you want. So I normally set this to about 300 feet on approach. This will not have, that I can find, an audible warning, but it will put the light on. So I was hoping there was going to be an audible warning, and there isn't. Moving across the top here, we have your engine controls. We have manifold pressure with left and right needles. We have RPMs, again, left and right needles. Fuel flow, left and right needles. And then your T's and P's. These are separated amongst the left engine and right engine. So your PSI, cylinder, and your oil temperatures. Very important. You keep an eye on these. Remember, this is a realistic aircraft. In the flight sim, I should say. This is a GTN 750. Yes, I've got a 750 in this thing because I like the 750, but you can make this look like a classic Duke. I have seen real Dukes with 750s in it, so it does exist. But yes, for navigational purposes, I do like a good 750. Moving on to the comm switches, we do have various ways of switching the comms. This is an engine tachometer, I think. I can't remember. It's bloody confusing, but yeah, it tells you various things regarding your engine. We have a weather radar. I don't think this works. I'm not 100% if this works in Flight Simulator. I think it's just one of those things that, yeah, we'll just actually turn that off. Yeah, I don't think it works per se. If it does, I never paid attention to it, or I was flying in clear weather. We have a Garmin transponder. You can set with a GTN 750. Obviously, you have the transponder option up here, and that does work this. So you can set your transponder code here, set it to altitude reporting, standby, all the rest of it, and on, and this will respond. We have some Bendix-related radio stuff. Again, all navigational stuff, I should say. Moving over to the right-hand side, an exact copy of the pilot's setup of instrumentation. Only across the top we have the ELT, some cabin temp related stuff. But yeah, like I say, in reality, this is a two-seat aircraft. Two pilots can fly this aircraft. Removing said controls. Let's get rid of there. Nope, I just clicked something. I didn't mean to click that. Thank you. Let's get rid of that. Moving on down here, we have a complicated de-icing system. Normally I work on the theory of de-icing on, de-icing off, not in this aircraft. We have windshield heat, fuel vents, obviously for left and right. We have pitot for left, and stall and pitot for right. I was reading that wrong. So we have pitot heat on left and right system, and we have a stall heat on the right-hand side, which probably means our stall vane, or whatever you like to call it, instrumentation. Let's see if we can see it. Is it anywhere around here? I can't see. It's on the right hand side, so somewhere on the wing there's a setup for that. So again, we have like I say, the pitot heat is all on that. We have left and right prop heat, so we can actually put heat to the propeller blades as well, which is these black strips just here, putting heat onto the blades and stopping ice forming. A very interesting system, actually. I'm probably not going to bore you to death with this, but the black stripping here is a heat boot system. It puts heat onto the outside of the wings on this, and also, like I said, you have it on the propellers, and basically this stops ice forming in places where you don't want ice forming. Let's see now, carrying on. We have our exterior lighting system, so the usual arrangement of nav, beacon, wing, taxi, and landing lights, both of them. We have a fuel, left and right tanks. We have undercarriage, obviously 3 green. This little sod. Oh, well, yes, this thing. This aircraft has trim, like most aircraft do. However, trim does not work like most aircraft. You set the trim up on your joystick and you assume that's going to work. No, it doesn't. I tried this on the first flight and couldn't get my trim to work. Had to look into the manual. Again, typical bloke. I didn't look at the manual first. And you have to have pitch trim turned on before you can use the trim. I think this is to do with the autopilot system. The aircraft probably can trim itself out, but it needs that turned on before you can manually use your trim. What else we got here? So we got... this is interesting. Voltage. Amps. This is probably electrical system. Yes, your generator load for left and right. Have your prop sync. Moving on here, we have flap levers. So we have up, approach, and down. So three. Get it right. Flap position. Try saying that fast. Interesting part, obviously I've got it set up obviously on my Thrustmaster throttle, but when the flaps are in transit, this flashes. When they set to approach, that flashes. When you want to go down again, that light flashes. It sometimes confused me the first time. I had to read it again. Oh yes, it's in transit. And then obviously flaps, when they go into the down position and lock, will go down, and the transit light will not be illuminated. Cabin temperature, again, this is all set up. You can do stuff with this. What else we got? Pressurization. Again, this works. You can set it. I watched a video on how to set the pressurization. Obviously, you set this as your altitude increases, or before your altitude increases. Moving on to fuses. Do they have them working? Oh, yes. It's one of those aircraft that has fuses. And then we have a boatload more fuses. And guess what? They all work as well. So, if you like fuses, Fuse Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, get the Duke. Moving down here, we have your standard fuel tanks, which are set to on. So we'll just, if I can, hello. Oh, we can move that. I never even knew you could move that. Now I do. If I can just, there we go. That way, that's better. Don't want that. So there we go. There is cockpit controls, external. Put them back on. Internal looks. It looks fantastic. What they've done on the external side, they've done on the internal side. This thing looks amazing. I mean, this sunshade arrangement here, I don't know what it's made of. I doubt it's plastic. I think it could be leathery stuff, but it's textured. It almost looks like the aircraft's being used, and I like that. It adds realism to it. So yeah, it does look the part everywhere you look at this. I mean, that's a fabricy roof, I would imagine. Looks realistic. It looks absolutely amazing. Talking of leather, there's a leather seat. Again, looks realistic. There's chocks. You want to put the chocks on? There you go. Now the aircraft has chocks. What else did I miss? Oh yeah, autopilot controls. Autopilot controls are down here, and I cannot get to them. This one. Hey. There we go. Autopilot. The Sentry 4 autopilot system at your service. Basic autopilot, you know, the heading, attitude, altitude, approach, all that kind of stuff can be set up here. I can set up, obviously, on my G1000, most of that stuff, and it responds, you know, the altitude and the autopilot controls do respond quite well. Trim wheel is there. We also have your aileron and rudder trim sat there. So, again, realistic. So yeah, it looks fantastic. Something else, if you want to see how much boot space you have in your baggage door, well, open your baggage door, click on the keys, and voila, we have a door. And this is one of the things that Duke's known for. It has a caviar space for your suitcases, or your whatever you want to put in there, gerbils, let's say. Definitely can put a lot of stuff in there. You want to shut that, just click somewhere around here. Oh yes, I forgot. Where's the... Interesting. This I will also take, because I do believe this also opens and shuts most of the doors. Right, we do have a tablet here for your options. So at the moment, like I say, I'm rocking a GTN 750 with GTN 650 set up, so that's that thing. If you want to set that up to that... Is it going to swap? I don't know whether I have to have battery on. Oh, confirm, you fool. Is it going to work? Is it? Hello? There we go. I knew it was going to work somehow. So there we go. We have a more classic looking setup, which just adds more knobs to the combination, and I don't particularly like that. So thank you. I think I'll have my GTN. Again, we do have the options for PMS 50, or yeah, PMS 50 and the TDS GTN XI options. So if you have the payware options, they are all there. Whoops, I shouldn't have clicked that. Right, we have some options here. So we have the cloud strobe effect. Now the strobes on the end of the wingtips down there, which you can't see, are quite powerful. And when climbing through clouds, strobes can, in real, quite a blinding effect, especially at night. So you can turn this on or you can turn it off. So if it's off, it won't react to the cloud that you're flying through. I haven't flown so high as to test this, but it's nice that the option's there. I have seen a video of it and it did look quite, you know, lots of lights flashing at the same time. So load with covers and chocks deployed, I've got that turned off. Show co-pilot, again, nobody's going to sit in my aircraft. Does that actually make him look like? No. I bet it does on the outside. No. We got another confirm option? No. Oh well, don't know when that turns on. VATSIM, don't use. So we can change the payload of this particular aircraft. So let's turn the wheel chocks off. We don't want those. So, yes, okay. So we have wing tanks. Again, we can change all this, and then we can change what people would like to sit in my aircraft. So at the moment, I've got £170 worth of stuff in this aircraft, which I do believe is me. I don't know if I weigh £170. I'm not even going to go into that argument. But you can add people and weights, all that kind of stuff, and you can put rear baggage compartments. So, there we go. And that put the keys back. So we can open a cabin door, which is that one back there. So we'll just swing that back round again. Opens the cabin door, like so. And we can shut that as well. So we have the options for exterior options, to say wheel chocks, pitot covers, engine covers, external power, and an engine heater. So, ooh, we have external power. Where is it? Is it? It is. We got a little generator. That would give the aircraft external power, while on the ground, obviously, it's powered up most of the stuff. So also have an engine. Ooh, heater. That'd be a big heater. Don't need that in the UK, but imagine being in a place where there's snow and ice. You definitely would be needing that. Right, so left and right engine. These are this is again an uber realistic system, so we can check various things and check that they're all working. So we also can clear the cylinders, clean the plugs, repair the starter and recharge the battery. So engine condition at the moment is 100%. That's because I haven't flown the aircraft that much. Same for the right engine. Actually, I bet these all move as well. I don't pay attention too much to this when I'm flying, but it's nice they're there. Electrical system. Right, okay. Ooh, this gets confusing. So this is telling us where the power is coming from. So at the moment we have external power powering this aircraft, so it's obviously powered up various things. Again, it's just realism, isn't it? We have a cabin system, so I think that's quite warm, to say the least. I don't know, is that correct? Oh, is that for the pressurization? Again, not going to pay too much attention to that. Right, this is the failure section, so you can simulate a failure. Numerous failures by the looks of it. Yes, everything here will break when I'm flying it. So you can set it. We can have global failure rate, so we can change how quickly this thing fails over time. Can we turn it off? Oh, we can. I've got them on, so apparently I will have failures. I know I'll have failures because I'll be the one flying the thing. So let's see, how do we get rid of this thing? There we go, click back there. So, what can I say about this aircraft that I haven't said already, that I haven't prattled on for 26 minutes? It is an amazing aircraft. It is a realistic looking aircraft, I think we can safely say. Externally and internally, it sounds absolutely amazing. You'll hear that in the next video. I love it. I absolutely love it. Is it going to replace my DA42? No, of course not. I do like my Diamond aircraft. But it is that damn good. I think it is. And considering the fact that you also can have the turboprop version, so if you don't like piston aircraft and you're one of those people that likes turboprop, guess what? Duke's got you covered, because you can have that. So you can go a little bit faster and a little bit higher. You can already go fast enough, but I like this. I like this a lot, and I'm going to probably feature this in quite a few videos. So, join me in part 2, where we'll have a flight, and we should be flying from here at RAF Waddington, and we'll do our usual run up to Humberside. It'll give us a little bit of a run. Not too high, probably around the 4,000 feet mark. And yes, we shall be able to see just how bad I am at flying this very advanced aircraft. So, see you in part 2.